What steps do you take? How do you extract genuine insight from the data that you and your collaborators work with? How do you go about doing that?
I'll give you this current research as an example that we're working on, because probably the Adelphi method in itself shows the process of extracting insight, as well as identifying whether any given group of experts can reach consensus quite beautifully. So a Adelphi method study, in its traditional social science definition, engages a group of experts. Experts means that they're people in the know and care about any given issue. And it has also prospecting, so future gazing, if you want, prospecting opportunity. And it starts qualitatively, asking these people to consider the current status or the implications or what they would like the world to be, with open-ended qualitative questions. And then it presents, it feedback these answers back to them and gives them an opportunity to reflect, comment, or keep them as they are. And we do this in subsequent rounds, so much so that after the second round or so, in our case, the researchers get involved and they summarize and synthesize the information and boil it down based on what is the most common and the most frequent theme into a variety of categories. So then we move from qualitative, unstructured, to quantitative, that is structured. And then you ask the people again, but then you ask them to either rank or express their likelihood, the agreement. I very much agree, very much disagree. And you do this in another round or two. So to go back to how do you get insight? There are two ways. With this method in particular, we want to see truly what are the common themes that are emerging, right? Because in a sense, consensus means that we tend to navigate towards a common theme. Why not necessarily that we agree, but at least we identify it as a common theme. So we do this by synthesizing, bringing things together, by clustering, by putting themes on it. Now, in order to bring some level of reliability in the process, is not a singular researcher, so one person who does it. So in our case, as I said, we have a group of researchers. We started with 50 in the group in 25 countries. And our process, I'm quite proud of it because I don't think I've seen this done in other parts. We had our pre-test where we played with our questions ourselves. And now when we are working with our actual data, the way we've done it is that I've done the first round of synthesizing, summarizing, whatnot. I passed it on to my colleague, and then we've opened the group. We had a group discussion in 2 days when they could look and see. And I opened the data anonymized, but I opened the data and I said, is it anything else that you see that I have missed? And we had conversations and on the order. And now we passed it on to another 3-4 colleagues that are supposed to look at, is this English proper? Because we all speak English, but we speak foreign English. So that means that what we need to ensure is that it makes sense in English proper. And we have an Australian, a South African, and an English person involved in this process. But we also need to make sure that for those of us for whom English is not our first language, but we use it for work, is equally clear. And so in this sense, the way we extract insight first is by talking with one another and ensuring that we agree. The other way we extract insight, of course, is when we're going to get the results of the study, then the critical self is going to emerge. And there are 3 questions that I recommend when I supervise dissertation, so master students. I tell them that their discussion section needs to answer 3 questions. And that is, so what did I find out? Is this, and when I answer that question, then the concern is this in line? Is it any different from current knowledge, current research? Then what is it weird? What is it that is unusual? And then, of course, if they want to go back at work and show off, for us with this research, we'll want to do that. We're going to say, who cares and what do they do with it? So in that sense, we're contributing to knowledge because we're saying, look, this is the stuff that we found out. This is how we fit or we do not fit into this continuum of knowledge. But you should care about it because, and this is what you can do about it. So I think, in a sense, it is very similar to your questions. It's just that what we do as academics, what we have to do is to inscribe our findings into a wider body of knowledge, because in academia, the assumption is that you cannot possibly know stuff. Somebody must have thought about it before. So the only thing that you can do as an academic is reimagine and rearrange the world. So that's pretty much it.
I love that, and I love your guy. I want to move on to talk a little bit about data, about combining kind of data and story and kind of data storytelling. I love that in particular because I was originally a classicist, and Aristotle in his 3-act story structure, what we might call the beginning, middle, and end, or Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Aristotle called that the thesis, the antithesis, and the synthesis. So that's a very, very nice Aristotelian bridge.